Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I thought we would actually make a card today. I have this sunflower, well they call it a sunflower border die. It's not really what I think of as a border, but it cuts out half a sunflower. This one I purchased from Amazon. I purchased another one from another company, and I had so much trouble trying to get a decent cut out of it because it is somewhat intricate. I tried hemming it, and I would still have to cut out some of, let's see, can you see that? Make sure I'm focusing. I would still have to take the scissors and cut cut it out in some places. So I threw it away. They had this one on Amazon. It wasn't quite as bad as the one I had originally ordered, but I was able to finally find a way to make it cut. And that was, I took some washi tape that, most of us have a big bin of washi tape we don't use, or don't use often enough. And I just put, I think this has 2 or 3 layers of washi tape across this part where it didn't want to cut really well. And I was finally able to get some decent cuts. A couple of these I did still have to cut out 1 or 2 spots. That doesn't bother me. What bothered me was when almost every one of these had part of it was not cutting out. And that was a pain in the patootie, I'll tell you. So I'm going to show you what I did with them. I've already got a couple, and I cut these out. This is a pretty thin, this is some of the thinnest cardstock I have. This is a little bit thicker, more sturdy cardstock, and it cut both of them. This was Spellbinders. It's like, I can't remember the name of it, beeswax or something like that. But anyway, it's a real pretty color. So I'll show you how I colored these. Make sure I'm going to be in camera here. And also make sure, hopefully this is focused. This mat last night, I couldn't get anything at all. These, I kind of have trouble getting them to stick because they are sort of thin. But this is an Altenew mat. And I just put these right up close to one another. And get my blending brush, and I'm using Simon Hurley inks for this. You can use any inks you've got. This is the Weeping Willow that I'm using for the brown centers. And because I do want this center to be a little, here, let me zoom in a little bit. know if on my screen this is kind of off camera now. There we go. Zoom in and make sure it focuses too. I would call this a medium, this Weeping Willow, sort of a medium to dark brown. It's not super dark. Oops. And just doing this ink blending. And if you like the color of the cardstock you cut it out of, you can just leave it plain and just use the plain die cut. But anyway, so I'm very happy. And these dies, they were like between $7, maybe $8.50, something like that. I cannot remember. So they're not the most expensive dies in the world, which is why I just bought another one. The original company I bought the first one from was, and I'm not going to say a name, it's not her fault that the die was not that great, because she doesn't manufacture them. And she is a one-woman show. So something that in, I'm not going to ask her to take that back. And I would probably have to pay the shipping anyway, so a little bit, a little heavy-handed there, going straight to the paper without dabbing it off. And this mat last night, oh my gosh, nothing would stick to it, and I sprayed it with matte cleaner, still wouldn't stick. I got a microfiber cloth, put a little bit of soap on it, and rinsed it out. So it was just very mildly soapy. Came and wiped it, and still, I've used it so much, you would rub your finger and you could feel like this gritty residue, because when you use these a lot and you put down, because I'm usually doing like a cardstock panel, right, that I'm sticking on here. Every time you pull those up, little paper fibers, even if you can't really see them, they are coming off on your mat. So I finally just took the thing to the kitchen and cleaned it under the tap. And it seems to be much stickier, and I don't really feel that residue. It might be a little bit because I didn't put it back in its thing, but I keep it in. And I saw this. I got this from Simon Hurley, or did I see Elizabeth Costa Rogers do it first? Anyway, I think it was Simon's idea. And of course, now I'm so zoomed in, you can't see this. So I just keep it in a project pouch now, instead of trying to stick the original plastic back on it every time, although I have saved that. It just stays in the same drawer with this, in case I ever do need to stick that back on there for any reason. But this is the big Altenew mat that's meant just for like using it like this, sticking stuff on it and ink blending or using other mediums on your cardstock. It's so weird because a whole sheet will fit on here, but these little die cuts don't really want to stay stuck down. Okay, and then for this next, I just use the bigger Simon Hurley brush. Use whatever brush you've got, whatever you like. Ew. What in the world? It's got like a dot of brown in it. I don't know where that came from. You know, it's swished in there now. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see. This was Guppy that I was using. And this one is Shooting Star. Okay, just use any yellow you have in your stash that you like. I could have used a little darker yellow, but I like this one, and that's what I used. And I don't. Here, this one is this bright yellow cardstock. And is that focused? And can you all see the difference? So it's still the same on the ends, but here and back through here, it's changed that color some. I'm going to finish this one. And then here is that. This one has a slightly more peachy tone in the cardstock. So they're just, I really like it. I like the way it looks. And I've got to clean this off. And I do not have a rag out here. Grab. Oh, my back is trying to hurt a lot again. Last weekend, I went in and cleaned because the house is so dirty because I haven't been able to do housework. So I cleaned my sink and bathroom sink and vanity and scrubbed the toilet, and that was a really bad idea, and I spent the rest of the weekend through Monday just in agony. It was terrible. But anyway, I am going to already have these two done. These are two I did. Did I do these yesterday, last night before I went to bed. And I already have my papers cut. And here's another one. And this thing is about 6 inches from side to side, like it's about 5 7/8 from here to here, and about 3 1/8 from the center of the flower out to the edge. So I still want to try to do one on an A2 card. So far, I have just done 5x7s. And it's a little weird. I can't stand... This is some thin cardstock that I'm just using as a base to put these on because I don't like trying to put it right out straight on the front of the card. And this is, so it's a 5x7 card. This is I cut this to 4x6. And you'll see why. And what did I do with my glue? Did I put it up? Yeah, of course I did. And I need it, let's see. I think I'm going to use the pale side. This pattern paper is called, oh good, I didn't put it up. It is called Sunflower Watercolors from Not Too Shabby. And it just seemed pretty appropriate. Come on, sorry, I'm trying to get this lined up correctly. It's not lined up correct. Okay. So this was 2.5 inches. This is 1/2 inch. So that gets our 3 inches of sunflower that we need for the sunflower. Try to line this up right. And then I just have this other piece of pattern paper. I can use either side, but I think I'm going to use the sunflower part. What you doing, Axel? He's back here behind me playing with the ball tower. Okay, and this adding glue is going to take just a minute. I don't know if y'all can hear him batting the ball, so they go around and around. And he's laying down while he does it. I actually have a inner tip glue bottle I could be doing this with, but that would be too easy. I have another video I want to do. I have not had a lot of time, well, between hurting and work, June 30th was the end of our fiscal year. I think I may have told y'all that, but anyway, and then July is a board meeting month. So I have to do all the end of year reports. Actually, I have to do reports quarterly for our board of trustees. I can't do that until I get the month closed out. this is going to go on here. Doggone it. Hang on a second. I need to trim this really quick. So, you know something? I'm wondering what's going wrong here. And I glued this on here wrong. What a maroon. Why didn't y'all stop me? It's because I changed this up some. Come on. Come off of there for me, please. We'll see if I can do this without it looking like a big mess. This goes on the gold strip. Adult. It's okay. I might set this one aside to use as a guide, because by the next time I make some of these cards, I will have forgotten all my measurements. So anyway, no, I still didn't cut this off either. It's a little crooked, but you know something? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put together another one, and I'm going to do it right this time, maybe. This reminds me of my mother saying, "Do as I say, not as I do." Okay, so this is my second mat, and it was 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And here's my final layer. And this is this yellow here is also another thin cardstock that I had. Come on. Let's see. There we go. Usually, if you just get a little wet towel cloth, if you get glue on this metallic paper, it will usually rub off. Just take a damp cloth to it, and that will wipe off of there. So there are our layers that are going on our card base, which I haven't even poured yet. So let's do that really quick. Let me zoom out again just a second. Here's one I did earlier where I did the pattern paper here and the watercolor paper here. And you can make this a horizontal or a vertical card, portrait or landscape. But I have fallen in love with it because I think it's so pretty. You could take a bee die cut and put on here also with the sunflower. Just a lot of stuff. Let me grab my scoreboard here. Because, of course, I forgot to prep these in advance. You could zoom back out so y'all can see what the heck I'm doing. There we go. So the very first of these cards that I did, I was sending off, it was part of a card swap, and it did turn out really pretty, but I didn't like the proportions of making, oh, what size did I do it? Anyway, I like these proportions better. What did I do with my other piece of, I know what I did with them. You're in here. Gold. Okay. Let's see if we can do this one. Isn't that beautiful paper? This is also from Not Too Shabby. And it is, hang on a second, I will tell you what this one is. I should probably be using my paper trimmer or scoreboard to do this so I get it straight, but that would be too easy, of course. See if I can remember to... Anyway, I was using 6x6 paper, so I did it at 6 by 4 3/4. And then put a mat under it. Well, of course, when you do that, you don't have any sticking out on the sides of your mat layer. It only sticks out at the top, and I just didn't, I wasn't crazy about the way it looked. And I need to trim this a little on this edge. Oh, you probably can't see that, but bugs me. Okay, let's try this again, and this time let's try to glue it down right. So if you're watching my channel for instructions on how not to put your cards together. I can link this die, but just as a warning, you really might have to finagle with it to get it to give you a good cut. They're made in China. I don't know, is there anywhere else in the world now that still makes metal dies except China? Because I believe the last U.S. manufacturer had to close up shop. There we go. Now it goes on the gold strip. And honestly, you could just make this piece of pattern paper, this on this side, the paper you use on this left side, make it bigger and skip the gold. And just adjust this or make this piece bigger. You can cut your papers any way you want. So I'm waiting for an appointment. I saw the spine specialist Thursday afternoon. And I'm going to have steroid injections on both sides of my spine to hopefully alleviate the pain. And then I'll hopefully be back to my regular normal level of decrepitude instead of this new and painful level. Because I do not like this one little bit. Okay, so this is 4x6, this layer with the sunflower. Then the mat is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then the black is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And of course, you can cut them whatever size you want. You just put a whole piece of pattern paper on there and skip doing 3. And if you like that gold like I have, just use a whole sheet of one pattern paper. Is that, I think that's on there straight. And maybe just put a tiny gold strip somewhere on there instead of doing it the way I did. Doesn't that make a pretty card? I need to get rid of that glue right there, but I'll do that. And where's my other good one? Here. And let's put this one on. Is that straight or crooked? Yeah, it might be a tiny bit crooked, but I don't care right now. It's not bad, and it's a homemade card. And did I talk about this in my last video? This is the Pink and Main has, no, this is from Not Too Shabby. Because I think Teresa Russell came up with this idea. But anyway, this is my die that Jamie came out with a stamp set to go with it, where it just cuts a whole bunch in one pass, a whole bunch of sentiment strips. And now she has a stamp set to go with it. So you can stamp it and then cut them out. And I really, really like this die. And I believe she's coming out, I think it's in the works to come out with a second set of sentiments to go with this thing. So let me just grab my phone tape here. Let's see. No, I don't know why my back has decided to start hurting today. I was a little bit sore this morning, like, just like the muscles were sore. And I didn't think much of it, but man, now it's hurting again. And so I'm taking 2 different medications for it. And they called one in Thursday afternoon. And we were both so hot and tired because we had to stop in Columbus, Georgia, and get groceries. And we just went right past the drugstore once we got back to Manchester. So we were like, we'll just go Friday because I was off yesterday for the holiday. Sorry, I'm out of camera again. So we went by there yesterday and they were closed for lunch. We got there at like 10 till 2 and they were closed until 2. And why did I cut that so skinny? And anyway, so my husband went back for me today. And they were closed again. They closed before he got there for their July 4th holiday. So I have one pill left for tonight. So anyway. And then Tuesday you get to have a bone density scan, which I understand is like easy peasy. A little glue on here. Sorry, stick my head. Oh, that hurt. Maybe I should have leaned forward like that. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Straight enough. Doesn't that make a pretty card? I guess while I have it out. Now, how about just a cheerful hello? Or thinking of you with a smile. Just a cheerful hello. Scissors up. I'll just use these. Yeah, this is a lot easier because I don't have to piece pieces together. And I just love this because I just keep one of these little envelopes full of sentiment strips. And I hope she's going to come out with birthday because that's probably birthday and Christmas are probably what I make the most of. And then, you know, other different things. During the year, a former co-worker, I worked with her about 14 years, I guess. Her husband just died. So I've got to send her a sympathy card. They're not having a service. He did not want a service. And there it is. Once you get your stack of die cuts cut out and your card pieces, which I'm knocking off into the floor now, your card pieces cut out, you can assemble a lot of these in hardly any time at all. Oh, you know something? I cut out an A2 size because I wanted to try it. So because it's still going to be 4 inches across, I kept these same measurements. Oh, this time I'm going to use this to glue my strips down. Now I'm going to use this brighter. I almost picked up my spray bottle over here and sprayed water on this. That would not have been a good thing. That down. Then I don't have much of this paper. I don't know, can you, let's see if I bring this up here really close to the camera and try to focus it. You see how that's sort of brushed? That was in a pad of metallic cardstock that I bought from dang it. What is this? Tonic Studios. Good Lord. And I don't even know if that pack is available anymore. I kind of think it isn't, but I guess either they didn't make this as a separate, like you couldn't just get it in a pack all its own. But I sure wish they did, because I've only used a little bit because I kind of hoard it because it's just gorgeous. So, so pretty. So I'm just going to butt up against there. We are good to go. Oops, I got glue on there. I knew it would. Isn't that pretty? And now you can see this is going to hang off, so we're going to have to cut a little bit of this off. But I had not tried. Oh, don't want to use that. This is the Spellbinders. I don't want to use the cheapy one. That one is almost too matchy-matchy. This looks like it stands out better. So anyway, I've only used this for the 5x7 since it's so wide, and I'm sure it's made to go on a 5x7 card. You could also do like the slimline or mini slimline. Using this die. I don't like the big slimlines. When, I got some supplies back when they were sort of became a craze and tried them. I'm just not that fond of them. I hate covering this up. I did not get any glue on here, I don't think. Upside down for a second. Okay. And then I have a mat. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I just cut this so it's got an 1/8 inch. It's going to have the teeniest, tiniest little border on it, but I just think it looks better. To have that little black border. Like our little black accessory. Okay, and let me grab a card base. And the appropriate dimensions come here. And decide if I want to cut it off before or after. Nope, it's going to be before. Maybe cut a little more off of here. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. Good. And it's going to be the teeniest little bit of white showing. And I mean the one bittiest. And there's our A2 card. I didn't want to try this while I was recording. Isn't that pretty? I just love the look of these cards. I could have used, I have some bee paper I could have used for this too. That would look super good with this sunflower. You could just have a black outline of the sunflower, or you could cut it out in colored cardstock and cut it out in black and use the black outline and then put your pieces back in here. And how about hope this brightens your day? Well, I hope every one of you had a safe and enjoyable Independence Day. If you celebrated. We didn't do much. But I enjoyed my day. I had to do my laundry today, but you know, those things do not care about holidays. And yesterday we went up to Harrelson, Georgia. That's the little place that sells our bulk breakfast sausage that we love. And then we, since we were going up there, we just first went on past there to Sonoy and ate at a new sort of an upscale pizza place. Oh gosh, it was so good. It was so good. What is the name of that place? Hang on, I got to, because they have a few. It's called Crust and Craft. Because they have a location, I think I saw where they have one, like maybe in North Carolina, and at least one other one that I can't remember where it was. It was good. And I'm going to show y'all the first card I did, if I can show it on my phone here. I have to get past all the cat pictures. There. I don't know if y'all can really see this. That was the very first one I did. And it had more border at the bottom and top. You can't really tell it on this photo. But anyway, it had more border at the top and the bottom, and I kind of didn't like the way those proportions looked. So that's why I changed it to be more, I don't know, symmetrical. And I'm super proud of it, and I still have a few more to put together because boy, I cut out a bunch. So anyway, thanks for sticking around with me to make a card. I'm making a card for a change instead of just showing y'all crap I've bought. Which that might be coming too, because I just placed an order with Sweet Miss Daisy Designs because she came out with some and stamp sets, new stamp sets this month, and I liked them, so I bought them. But anyway, that's a video for another day. Thank you all so much for sticking with me. Thanks for hitting the like button on this video. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.